My first homicide case was a death investigation. It was a baby. I was called to the hospital. Where's the baby at? They point me to a room, and I walk in, and there's this little baby, this little 2-year-old, lying naked on a gurney. His eyes were open, but he was stiff, and he was dead. Now I'm looking at this little body, and there are marks and marks all over it. I mean, it was actually hard to find any parts of the body that didn't have any marks or welts. There were burn marks from cigarettes, marks from a belt, welts. The welts we later learned from a cord on an electric coffee maker. His eyes were wide open. I mean, I'd walk around the room, around the gurney, examining him, and it looked like his eyes were following me. It's eerie. And you relate it back to your own kids. I mean, how could somebody do this? I mean, how can anybody do this? So let me go talk to the doctor, find out what the cause of death was, the major injury. And the doc looks at me and he goes, this little guy just gave up. He just said, I quit. So then my partner and I, we start the investigation and we go over to the house. Now this is a HUD bi-level, about 10 years old, fairly new. And when you got to the front door, the stench was enough to knock you down. We go inside, there's no electricity. We're in there with our flashlights. And we find a room. There are milk bottles, gallon milk bottles, hundreds of them in this room. And they're all filled with urine. We go out, we go down the hall, we find another room in the bathroom. And the toilet bowl has been completely ripped out. And you figure, hey, it's nothing for them to rip out a toilet bowl. I mean, not with all the other stuff going on. We get out, we go down the hall, we find another room. And when you got to this room, the stench was unbelievable. This room with the stench is the room where they defecated. Yeah, they'd shit on the floor and shovel it into a corner. So then we get the family together, the mother, the father, and the 2 other kids. And the father told us what happened. He said that the baby knocked over one of the urine bottles and he chastised the baby by beating it with a cord. He said after the beating, the baby crawled under the hide-a-bed. He didn't come out for a long time. Oh, and they finally looked under there, and he was there all right. Dead. So they brought him to the hospital. Now, I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to this man talk, and he didn't see anything wrong with the corporal punishment he'd inflicted on his kid. He said, hey, you gotta discipline him. Discipline. You listen to stuff like this and you just want to beat the guy. I mean, they're always talking about police brutality, but when you listen to shit like this, you just want to beat the hell out of the guy. But we have to use restraint. Right? I worked homicide for 5 years. But I finally had to get out. I couldn't take it. I had so many hatreds building up inside. Does it get to you? Does it get to you?